My name is Rose Mattingly, and I'm 35. If you asked my family to describe me, they'd probably say I'm the responsible one. What that actually means is I'm the one who arrives early, makes sure nobody's missing anything, and quietly pays for things nobody else thinks about. I work in operations at a medium-sized tech company, and I organize every part of my life: work, home, even my son's bedtime. My boyfriend, Ethan, teases me about it sometimes, but he knows why. Order keeps me steady in a family that thrives on chaos. This Christmas was supposed to be simple. Drive across town, smile through dinner, nod politely, and keep the peace. My mom loves tradition, the same slightly bent plastic nativity from the 90s, the same scratched up CD labeled Xmas Mix 2008, and the same strict hierarchy at the table. My younger sister Natalie and her son Mason have always been at the center. The rest of us, we orbit them quietly. We arrived just as the sky was turning dark. Through the frosted windows, I could hear Natalie's laughter already, loud, theatrical, the kind that fills a room and leaves no corner untouched. Ethan carried the casserole. I balanced the gifts. Liam, my 7-year-old, clutched a drawing he made for his grandparents. Crooked stick figures under a lopsided Christmas tree, the words "Family Forever" scrawled below. Inside, Mom darted between kitchen and table, her apron splattered with cranberry sauce. "Shoes off, please. Floors just got cleaned," she called without looking up. Dad nodded from near the oven. "Hey, champ," he said, using the nickname he never stopped calling me, even though I had long grown out of it. Liam tugged at my sleeve. "Where do I sit, Mom?" "Next to me, sweetie," she said, barely glancing at him. Then she clapped her hands sharply. "Everyone, to the table." The table looked perfect under the warm glow of yellow light: red runner, polished silverware, and 8 plates arranged with military precision. Mason, age 9, already performing confidence like an actor on stage, stuffed bread into his mouth, while Natalie laughed like she was the audience. Liam climbed into his chair and blinked at his placemat. No plate, no fork, just a bare square of table, faintly sticky from a melted candy cane that refused to wash off. I tried to keep my voice calm. "Mom, Liam needs a place setting." She didn't look at me. "There isn't enough, Rose. Remember? He knocked over Mason's block tower. Time out." Ethan's hand brushed mine under the table, a silent weight. "What do you mean?" I asked. Natalie shrugged. "He got a timeout, didn't he?" "Yes, but he said sorry," I said softly. Mom waved me off. "We don't reward bad behavior, Rose." She served Mason's seconds with a laugh. Liam's little hands folded in his lap, eyes darting between Mason's overflowing plate and the empty space in front of him. Something inside me snapped. For years, I had been the fixer, smoothing over every crack so the family photo looked perfect. But watching my son, sit at a table where there was literally no place for him, that was different. I stood up. "We're leaving." Mom froze mid-laugh. "Rose, don't be ridiculous." Natalie smirked. "It's Christmas. Come on." I didn't reply. Ethan stood silently, hand on Liam's side. We gathered the gifts, still wrapped, and Liam's drawing. No one moved. Dad just stared, expressionless, like a TV stuck on pause. Outside, the cold air cut sharp. Liam climbed into his booster seat without a word. Ethan started the car. Through the window, the house glowed warm, laughter leaking out like nothing had happened. Did I do something wrong? Liam whispered. No, baby. You did everything right, I said, swallowing hard. Back home, the apartment felt safe again. Chicken nuggets and carrot sticks on the couch, Liam wrapped in his blanket, laughing at a cartoon dog. He didn't ask about the table. When he finally curled up with his stuffed fox, I checked my phone. 9 missed calls from Mom, 4 from Dad, 2 from Natalie, and a new family group chat named We Need to Talk About Rose. I didn't open it. At 9:47 p.m., my phone lit up again. Dad, rent's due tomorrow. No please, no soft tone, just a demand like my paycheck still belonged to them. Ethan leaned over. What now? I showed him the screen. He sighed. Of course. I stared at the message, feeling something inside me harden. The silence stretched. Then, barely above a whisper, I said what I had never dared to say. We're not making a scene. We're making a change. That night, I didn't reply. For the first time, I didn't rush to fix everything. The house was quiet except for Liam's steady breathing. Outside, snow drifted past the window, small, silent, and free. The next morning, sunlight spilled through our blinds, soft and golden. The phone buzzed again. Still 9 unread messages, 7 missed calls, 1 relentless group chat. Ethan poured coffee and slid mine across the table. You're not going to look? He asked. Not yet, I said. When Liam woke, hair sticking up like a dandelion puff, he asked, Is it still Christmas? Kind of, I smiled. The calm version. Can we have pancakes? Chocolate chip. Obviously, he grinned. We cooked together, flipping pancakes while his favorite cartoon played softly in the background. It was ordinary, peaceful, and that made my chest ache. Peace wasn't something I'd ever been allowed to have, not without paying for it. Later, I finally opened my phone. The family chat was a storm. Mom, Dad, Natalie, all criticizing me. But one message made my chest tighten. You made Mason cry. Are you happy? I hesitated. Ethan looked at me. Say it. Say the thing you never say. So I did. I shared photos and a short video. Mason served seconds, Liam ignored. I typed, Last night there was no plate for my son. You said there wasn't enough because he upset Mason. Mason got seconds. We left. Hit send. The responses were immediate, defensive, familiar, explosive. Rose, you always make drama. Grow up. Rent first. I typed again, calm but firm. I'm not paying your rent anymore. Silence. Then an explosion of messages. Guilt, anger, justification. But this time, I didn't fold. Ethan rested his hand on my shoulder. You're doing the right thing. I stared at Liam coloring on the carpet, humming softly. For the first time, I felt steady. Relief, not fear. But the silence wouldn't last. That afternoon, a knock at the door made my heart skip. A slow, deliberate knock I hadn't heard in years, carrying weight. Subscribe for more stories like this. The day after Christmas, the apartment felt quieter than usual. No calls, no texts, just the faint hum of the heater and Liam's occasional giggle as he built a fortress out of Lego blocks. Ethan worked from home, typing rapidly while keeping one eye on Liam, who had now added a tiny figurine army to his pancake-shaped Lego towers. I sat on the couch, my phone in hand, scrolling through the barrage of messages from the family. A new wave had arrived overnight. Angry emojis, exclamation points, and the classic guilt trip. Rose, you're tearing the family apart. It's Christmas. Be reasonable. Liam doesn't understand family yet. I blocked all notifications for a moment, closed my eyes, and exhaled. For the first time in years, I realized that I had to choose which battles to fight and which voices to ignore. Later, Liam tugged my sleeve. Mom, are they mad at us? I kneeled to his level. Some people don't understand right now, buddy, but you know what? That's okay, because we have each other, and that's what matters. His small hand squeezed mine. Okay, can we build a castle? I smiled, feeling a spark of hope. Maybe the real family wasn't defined by blood or tradition. It was about safety, respect, and love. That evening, Ethan and I sat together on the balcony, cups of tea warming our hands. I think this is going to be harder than you imagined, he said softly. They're used to you just absorbing everything. Changing that will make them fight. I know, I admitted, but I can't let them keep doing this. Liam's not a placeholder or a prop in their perfect picture, and I'm not their ATM or emotional buffer anymore. Ethan nodded. We'll face it together, and Liam will see what it means to stand up for himself and for you. The next few days were tense. My parents sent letters, emails, and even a courier package. Inside, a thin stack of papers detailing my failings as a daughter. I ignored them. Natalie called twice, but only left voicemails filled with criticism. Instead, I focused on my son, school projects, bedtime stories, and small rituals we created together. Pancake breakfasts became sacred. After dinner, we'd sit under the blanket fort and play board games. For the first time, I noticed the little things. His infectious laugh, the way he frowned when he concentrated, the pride in his eyes when he completed a puzzle. Each evening ended with me reading to him. The book's characters faced challenges, fought monsters, and found courage. I realized that in every page, I was teaching Liam resilience, the same resilience I had begun to claim for myself. It was a Tuesday morning when Dad finally showed up. I was making breakfast. Liam was drawing at the counter. The knock at the door was deliberate, heavier than usual. Ethan peeked out the window. You ready for this? I nodded, hiding the tremor in my hand. Dad walked in like he owned the apartment. Except for the first time, I didn't feel intimidated. Liam hid behind my legs, clutching his fox plushie. Rose, we need to talk. About what? I asked, keeping my tone calm but firm. About everything. Your sister, Liam, Christmas, rent. I gestured toward the living room. Sit. You're welcome to tea, but I want honesty, not guilt or anger. He hesitated, then sank into the armchair. The apartment smelled of vanilla and cinnamon. Liam continued coloring but watched silently. I didn't realize how badly things had gone last night. You've always been dependable, Rose. Too dependable. I think we took that for granted. I let that sink in. For decades, I had been the family's invisible safety net, absorbing tension, paying bills, smoothing conflicts. And now, he was admitting it. Dad, I didn't take anything lightly, but I can't keep covering for you. Liam is not here to be manipulated. I'm not here to be manipulated. You crossed the line. He had no place at that table, and I left. That's my boundary. He swallowed. I understand. I should have noticed sooner. It wasn't perfect. It wasn't a magical fix, but it was a start, a step toward acknowledgement. Later, I spoke to Natalie. She was defensive at first, arguing over tradition and family unity. But eventually, when she saw my resolution and Liam's quiet strength, she softened. Not fully, but enough. Enough to plant a seed. Weeks passed. Liam thrived in the new rhythm. He laughed more, slept better, and no longer asked questions about family drama. The family didn't suddenly transform, but moments of acknowledgement appeared. A text from Dad saying, "We're proud of you," a small gift from Natalie, handmade gloves for Liam. They weren't grand gestures, but they were steps. I also discovered my own growth. I didn't have to be the fixer anymore. I learned to say no without fear, to protect my son, to reclaim the energy I had given away blindly. One evening, as snow fell gently outside our window, Ethan and I watched Liam play with his Lego castle. "You've changed a lot," Ethan said softly. "We both have. I learned that sometimes standing up, even if it feels small, is the biggest gift you can give." Liam called from the carpet, "Mom, look, Mason and I are knights in my castle." I smiled, feeling the warmth spread in my chest. This was family. Not perfect, not ideal, but real, loving, safe. And for the first time in a long time, I realized that protecting my child and myself was the ultimate act of love.